The national tour of Cinderella is at the Civic Center Music Hall in downtown Oklahoma City. Shows can be seen Thursday evening, Friday evening, Saturday and Sunday. Ticket information and more information in general can be found at celebrityattractions.com. Happy to be joined by two people who star on stage. We have Paige Williams and Kim Faure. Did I say that right?
Yep, perfect.
Ladies, thank you so much for coming in. Great to meet you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Long answers. Remember long answers. We're having a fantastic conversation before we get started here. All three of us went to Oklahoma City University, so we're kind of reminiscing. I was way before them. They just graduated and got out. So congrats on your career.
Oh, thank you.
Congrats on making it through the Joe Rowan School,
Yes.
which is, and I don't actually say that joking, she is top notch and professional. She cranks out quality people right and left, and you have to be a quality person to make it through her school. But let me back up. The past two nights, Cinderella, how'd it go?
It's been going really well, yeah, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been, of course, Oklahoma is just such a wonderfully open audience, and they have been so receptive and seem to enjoy the show so much. It's been making it really easy to go out on stage.
Well, you two are part of the national tour of Cinderella. Do you find that's the case everywhere you go, or was this a different sort of crowd, more receptive?
They've been pretty receptive in most cities. I think this one is special just because it means something to both of us. So I know I got teary-eyed when I first walked into the theater, and I was like, never would I have imagined that this is where I would be, you know, as freshman Kim.
But this is where you want to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the dream, absolutely.
So have you guys been at the Civic Center before, on stage?
I had with a previous tour, and Kim, you'd only done like one performance.
Yeah, a concert in my freshman year. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's see. How did you guys get here? How did you join the Cinderella National Tour?
Well, my story is kind of funny.
We'll be the judge of that. I've heard that before in this set. Funny story, Dave. And then you're like, yeah, that really wasn't funny. So
Well,
no pressure.
I will try. Well, I auditioned for the tour actually back in September of 2014, and actually got it and had toured with the cast for about a year. And then in November of last year, I was like, you guys, I think my time is done. I'm going to go back to New York and you know, live life there. And a few weeks ago, they called me and said, Paige, we actually have somebody else leaving. Would you like to come out and rejoin the tour? And I said, well, yeah, I'd love to. I actually have my schedule open, and it was a lovely experience, so I'd like to come back and finish it out, as we've got like 6 weeks left of the tour. So I started with the tour, left, and now I'm coming back. So I'm going to be able to like have started it and now finish it as well.
Drop the mic at the end.
Exactly. Walk off stage.
You guys are both from the DC area. Is that what you were telling me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you guys know each other growing up, come to OCU, and now you're back on stage? How have your paths kind of crossed over the years?
I'm from the Maryland side. She's from the Virginia side.
Is there a rivalry here?
No, not at all. So we didn't meet till OCU. I was 1 year below Paige. And then my freshman year, her sophomore year, we actually roomed together at Music Theater of Wichita in Kansas. So we were roommates that summer. And we were in a couple classes my first year, for about 3 years
Yeah.
at OCU. Yeah.
In this production of Cinderella, Kim, you play one of the stepsisters. That's
do.
right. But unlike perhaps the original, this story, you have a love interest.
I do.
Tell us about this.
Sure. I can't tell you too much. I don't want to spoil anything.
No spoilers.
But there is a new character, Jean-Michel. He's a revolutionary character, and Gabrielle just thinks he is so cute. And yeah, so Gabrielle has a whole side love story that, you know, as she's pursuing him. And then along the way, she and Ella maybe have a different relationship than you're used to in Cinderella's story. So
And Ella
that's very
is
fun.
actually Cinderella in
Yes.
this version.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is that cool, kind of having a love interest in this?
Oh my
Something a
gosh,
little
it's so much fun. And Gabrielle gets to just be quirky. I mean, Charlotte and Gabrielle are the two sisters. We just, you know, banter on stage basically and get to goof off, which is really fun.
The Oklahoma's Rick Rogers wrote a review, and a good review of Cinderella. You can watch that or read that on newsok.com or find it in the Oklahoman. And he mentioned that Gabrielle wasn't the evil stepsister, it was more quirky. That was exactly the word that he used.
Yes, exactly.
Well, what's next for you guys?
You know, after this, I'm gonna go back to New York and hit the ground running of auditioning. That's basically what an actor's job is. It's great when we get a job and we can actually do a show, but in between that, you have to work at booking that show. So most of us will probably go back to New York and start doing that, or people might take a break. We've been on tour it'll be for some people a straight year and a half. So a vacation.
Unlike yourself, who started and then will finish, right?
Exactly. I went on hiatus.
That's right.
And then came back.
Let the understudy to step in for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. All the way back in time. But no, like I said, I really am actually very lucky that I was able to come back to it. And after it, I think I'm just gonna, having had such a good experience of being able to work for these couple of weeks and go back to the city and be kind of rejuvenated by getting the opportunity to be on stage. And I think that'll just kind of help me pursue those auditions.
We mentioned that you're Gabrielle, but you're in the ensemble. What's your favorite part during this production while you're on stage watching things?
I would think my favorite part is just the waltz, and I know that's probably like everybody's answer, especially the ladies, because we are usually just in the Prince is Giving a Ball and the waltz, so we really only have the two options. But still, the waltz is my favorite, and I just think the score is so beautiful. It's so sweeping, and there's this part as it transitions from 10 minutes ago into the Cinderella waltz, where the man steps in and the lady steps in. He takes her waist, shoulder, and then finally the touch, and it's so beautiful. You just kind of get swept up. Your body is doing exactly what it wants to do to this lush music. It's just this beautiful balance of sound and visual, and for us on stage, the dancing aspect of it. And I think that always just kind of has a special place in my heart every time it happens on stage.
And you don't always get to dance like that in shows. It's not always that style and that, the way you want to move, which is the way we got to move at school,
Yeah.
So it's a special show because of that too.
Well, that's cool to hear that perspective. That's interesting. Kim, next for you.
My husband is in New York, so I will get to actually see him, which is great. And then same thing, pounding the pavement, going to auditions, and spending the hot summer in New York City.
Yeah.
It does get hot there.
It gets
But
very
New York
hot.
City is such a great city.
It is. And the
great.
summer is a great time to go and enjoy it. Like, go to the park and maybe see some Shakespeare in the park. There are plenty of, music festivals and things like that going on. It's a great time to be there.
Yeah.
Or people who think they're Shakespeare in the park.
You find a lot of those too. Yes.
One last question for you, and this is kind of a broad question, but how has OCU, and I mentioned this off the top, the OCU Dance School is top notch. How has that prepared you for being so successful and now living in New York and doing what you studied to do? How has OCU prepared you guys?
Well, I know for me, I think the thing that I really appreciate of my OCU education is that they really wanted you to feel, either within your actual class or in dances that you were doing for any of our performances, they really stressed that you are part of a whole. It's not just you, it's this thing that you are doing that's bigger than you, be it the dance or your class putting on your choreography show your senior year. And I think that that's really, really helpful when we go in, and especially for me as being a part of an ensemble, that I am part of a whole. I am, helping to tell this story. And I think that has really helped me tell good stories and really be invested in the shows that I'm doing, because it's about that. It's about making this great product. And I think I always have joy in what I'm doing because of that.
And they also always were emphasizing being a whole performer as well. So even though we were in the dance school, we had to sing, we had to act, we had to not only dance ballet, but we had to do tap and jazz. So I know I had never tapped before. My first job out of school was a tap show. So in that way, I mean, you have to be able to do all of it. And Jo would always say, if they ask you something in an audition, can you do this? Your answer is yes. If it's, can you play the trumpet? You say yes, and then you go home and you learn how to play the trumpet. And the whole philosophy of that, we felt through the whole 4 years, and that really makes a difference in the city.
We mentioned Jo Rowan as well. Are you guys going to catch up with her this week, or have you already?
Yes,
We see her tomorrow.
Okay.
We do. It's very exciting.
And once again, Cinderella over at the Civic Center Music Hall shows run Thursday evening. It began on Tuesday through Sunday. More information at celebrityattractions.com. Ladies, very nice to meet you.
Yes,
Congratulations on your career, and have fun this week.
Thank you so much.